Men, the early hours whisper truths most people overlook. A woman's mornings reveal more than her words, more than her promises, more than any carefully crafted explanations she may offer later in the day. Psychology shows us that the first moments after waking are the least guarded. The subconscious leaks out through small automatic behaviors that can't easily be faked. And when a wife or partner has begun investing her heart elsewhere, her dawn routines transform in subtle but unmistakable ways. What used to be ordinary habits start to shift, creating a new rhythm that doesn't match the life you once shared. That's why today I want to walk you through 7 morning patterns that quietly betray she's seeing someone else. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe if this resonates with you. Drop a comment if you've ever noticed unusual changes in her mornings. Your story could save another man from walking blindly into heartbreak. Because make no mistake, these are not abstract theories. They are patterns that behavioral psychology has confirmed again and again, and that countless men have recognized only after the damage was already done. Why mornings matter? Think about it. Evenings are full of masks. After a long day, people slip into performances, hiding stress, covering guilt, putting on a show for their partner. But the mornings? They strip away pretenses. Sleep leaves the mind unpolished, raw, and unprepared to guard secrets. The very first choices a woman makes after opening her eyes can reveal the truest version of what she's feeling inside. If her loyalty is shifting, if she's investing emotionally in someone new, her subconscious starts preparing for that new bond from the very start of the day. Habit number 1, the phone before you. The most telling clue often begins in the very first seconds of the morning. Ask yourself, does she reach for her phone before she reaches for you? At first glance, this might seem harmless. Everyone checks the weather or glances at overnight emails, but the psychology runs deeper. When a woman is secretly seeing someone else, her phone transforms into a vault of emotional intimacy. Inside it lie the late-night conversations, the digital affection, the anticipation of connection. So the urgency to check it upon waking isn't about convenience, it's about priority, signs to watch for. She grabs the phone within seconds, without acknowledging you. She angles her body away, shielding the screen from your sight. She scrolls with a focus so sharp that your presence fades into the background. Notice her body language. Does she hunch protectively? Does she stiffen if you glance over? These are not the gestures of someone casually browsing the news. They are the reflexes of someone guarding a secret connection. The psychology here is simple, yet powerful. When a new person has invaded her emotional landscape, that individual claims her first and last thoughts of the day. The morning phone ritual becomes a way of feeding that bond, checking if he messaged, if he thought of her, if the invisible thread between them is still alive. If you attempt to interrupt, watch her reaction. Annoyance, impatience, or dismissive explanations like, "I'm just checking emails," all point to the truth. The phone has become more emotionally compelling than your presence. And in relationships, priorities matter. If the morning greeting you once shared, a kiss, a smile, a simple acknowledgement, has been replaced by a digital screen, that shift reveals where her emotional energy is flowing. Habit number 2, a sudden love for early mornings. Another subtle transformation happens with time itself. If she once needed 3 alarms to crawl out of bed, yet suddenly springs awake earlier than usual with energy and purpose, take note. This change isn't about newfound discipline or a health kick, though she may claim it is. The psychology is far more intimate. Anticipation of a secret connection creates a natural high, powerful enough to rewire sleep patterns. She wakes not because she's rested, but because her subconscious pulls her toward the possibility of early contact. Look for these signs. She wakes 30 to 60 minutes earlier without complaint. She appears energized despite the shorter rest. Her new routine carves out private time before you're awake. Morning solitude offers the perfect cover. Uninterrupted minutes for calls, long text exchanges, or video chats, all hidden under the veil of exercise, reading, or self-care. In truth, the early hours become sacred, not for productivity, but for secrecy. Often this new schedule pairs with earlier bedtimes. She claims to be tired, yet her body hums with the anticipation of dawn conversations. The irony? While it looks like she's pursuing health or discipline, she's actually sacrificing genuine rest for emotional excitement with someone else. If you question the change, her explanations may sound logical, but compare words to reality. Is she really jogging, or is she typing furiously on her phone? Is she actually meditating or whispering into a device while you sleep? These are the moments where surface-level excuses crumble under close observation. Habit number 3, extra care in her appearance. One of the most revealing morning transformations lies in how she prepares herself to face the day. For years, perhaps, her routine was predictable. A quick shower, minimal makeup, a simple hairstyle, the kind of effortless rhythm couples fall into when comfort outweighs constant performance. But suddenly, the script changes. She begins to linger in front of the mirror. Small purchases appear on the bathroom shelf. A new foundation, a skincare serum, perfume bottles that weren't there before. She experiments with hairstyles, applies lipstick more often, spends longer adjusting her clothes. Now, don't misunderstand, self-care is natural and healthy. But the timing of these changes is the true giveaway. Ask yourself, why now? Why this sudden investment in beauty rituals when nothing external in her daily life has shifted? Why devote 45 minutes to makeup for a trip to the grocery store when before 5 minutes sufficed? The psychology here is unmistakable. When a woman enters the realm of new attraction, she instinctively desires to present her best self to the person who excites her. It's not a conscious deception. It's biology at work. The thrill of knowing someone fresh is paying attention ignites an urge to polish, perfect, and impress. Pay attention to these patterns. She researches beauty trends or fashion tips she previously ignored. Perfume, once reserved for anniversaries or dinners out, becomes a daily essential. Accessories, jewelry, or nail polish suddenly matter more than ever. Showers run longer, her time in front of the mirror stretches, and you notice shopping bags with clothes she never wears around you. And here lies the most striking detail. Her grooming efforts don't align with her actual schedule. If she's spending an hour perfecting her look before just errands or wearing her nicest dress to buy bread, it's not about errands. It's about possibility, the chance of seeing, or at least being thought of by, someone who has awakened her desire. Watch her reaction when you notice the changes. Does she smile nervously when you compliment her? Brush it off with vague comments like, "I'm just doing this for myself"? True self-care isn't hidden or deflected. But when her energy spikes at the thought of being noticed by someone else, she'll instinctively protect the real motivation. In relationships, small details tell the loudest truths, and morning grooming is one of those details. When it's suddenly amplified without clear reason, you're not witnessing random vanity. You're seeing attraction reshaping daily life. Habit number 4, emotional mornings, unpredictable swings. Another subtle yet piercing signal emerges not in what she does physically, but in how she feels. Her moods, once steady and understandable, begin to shift like tides. One morning she's giddy, almost glowing, her laughter bubbling as though she's carrying a secret joy too big to contain. Nothing in your shared life explains this brightness. No special news, no upcoming trip, no achievement at work. It seems to come from nowhere. But psychology tells us it comes from somewhere very specific. A late-night message that thrilled her, a hidden plan for a meeting, or simply the intoxicating rush of new romantic attention. Then, without warning, the pendulum swings. The next morning, she's irritable, withdrawn, curt in her answers. The warmth is gone, replaced by tension she can't explain. Why? Because living a double life breeds inner conflict. Guilt presses down, fear of being discovered gnaws at her, or something went wrong with her secret partner. An argument? A canceled meeting, a silence where she craved attention. The key isn't the mood itself. Everyone has good and bad days. The key is the disconnect between her emotional state and her visible circumstances. In a stable relationship, moods usually track with sleep quality, upcoming stress, or normal life events. But when mornings become emotional roller coasters unanchored to reality, it means her heart is tied to influences outside the life you share. Signs to observe. She wakes unusually happy on an ordinary Monday with no reason you can see. She seems distracted, her thoughts far away, as though she's holding an inner conversation. She grows tense or edgy if her phone buzzes, or if you casually ask about her plans. Her energy doesn't match the day ahead. glowing when nothing exciting awaits, or sullen even when good things are planned. These fluctuations are more than moodiness. They're the visible cracks of a hidden relationship, and guilt often amplifies them. Sometimes she'll overcompensate, being overly cheerful or affectionate to hide the truth. Other times, her defensiveness leaks out in irritation at small things. Neither extreme feels natural because it isn't. Mourning is when this inner turbulence shows most clearly. The mask isn't yet fixed in place. And so you see the truth in her eyes, in her tone, in her restless energy. Habit number 5, privacy walls, where none existed. Before long-term couples develop a natural openness around private routines. Over time, small boundaries fade, bathroom doors left unlocked, quick outfit changes without fuss, casual conversations during grooming. It's the comfort of intimacy, the ease of being fully seen by someone who knows you inside out. But when a woman begins redirecting her emotional and physical energy elsewhere, these walls suddenly reappear. Spaces once shared without hesitation become carefully guarded territories. You may notice. She locks bathroom doors that used to stay ajar. She changes her dressing routine so you're less likely to enter unexpectedly. She grows tense if you walk in while she's choosing clothes or fixing her hair. She adjusts her shower schedule, deliberately carving out solitude where togetherness once lived. On the surface, she may brush it off with excuses about needing privacy or wanting personal space, but the deeper psychology reveals something far more telling. When another person enters her intimate world, she becomes hyper-aware of her body, not just as yours, but as something now divided between two relationships. That shift creates guilt and secrecy, and the result is physical distance from you. There are subtler clues as well. New lingerie appears, yet you never see it. A favorite set goes missing from her regular rotation. Small shopping bags get tucked away before you can ask about them. Why? Because those purchases aren't intended for your eyes. They're chosen for someone else's admiration. The bathroom, too, can become more than a place of grooming. Pay attention to shower routines that suddenly stretch longer than ever, paired with anxiety if you happen to interrupt. That steam-filled room, once ordinary, may now serve as a sanctuary for whispered calls or hidden text exchanges. The hum of running water masks conversations she doesn't want overheard. And then there's the subtle withdrawal from touch. Try to hug her as she gets dressed, and she stiffens. Reach for a playful kiss, and she pulls away, muttering about being busy or late. What you're really encountering isn't about being rushed. It's the discomfort of guilt, the internal conflict of sharing intimacy with you while her mind replays recent closeness with someone else. In healthy love, mornings carry a quiet ease, undressing, showering, dressing, all flowing without thought. When that ease is replaced by closed doors, long silences, and invisible walls, something deeper has shifted. Habit number 6, the vanishing of morning intimacy. Morning affection is one of the most authentic markers of closeness. Before the demands of the day intrude, couples often share their purest moments of tenderness, a sleepy kiss, a warm cuddle, the comfort of skin against skin before stepping into the world. It's vulnerable, unpolished, and profoundly telling. So when those moments start disappearing, it speaks volumes. At first, the changes are easy to dismiss. She doesn't initiate a kiss. She seems less responsive when you reach for her. She claims she's too rushed, too tired, or not in the mood. But over time, the pattern becomes clear. What was once natural has grown rare, almost mechanical. The psychology here runs deep. For most women, emotional intimacy and physical intimacy are tightly intertwined. When she begins investing her romantic energy in someone else, her body naturally withdraws from you. It's rarely a conscious decision. Rather, her desire shifts direction, following the new source of excitement. Watch for these signs. Morning kisses become brief and perfunctory, stripped of warmth. Spontaneous intimacy disappears. She avoids situations where closeness might spark. Even casual touch, a hand on her waist, a brush of the arm, feels unwelcome or met with distraction. She invents practical reasons to dodge intimacy, needing to leave early, feeling unwell, being stressed about work. Perhaps most painful of all, her responses feel hollow. When intimacy does occur, it lacks depth. Movements feel mechanical, her eyes unfocused, her heart elsewhere. It's not deliberate cruelty. It's that her emotional core is no longer rooted in your bond. And notice her relief at interruptions. A knock at the door, an alarm ringing, a child calling from another room. Distractions that once felt intrusive now rescue her from moments she no longer desires. That quiet sigh of gratitude when closeness is cut short. It's a devastating giveaway. Morning intimacy holds a special weight because it symbolizes genuine connection. It's about more than passion. It's about comfort, affection, the blending of daily life with love. When she withdraws from that ritual, she's not just saying no to touch. She's signaling that her heart is already invested elsewhere. Habit number 7, patience as a strategic weapon. If there is one quality that almost every successful man shares, it is patience. Not the passive kind that simply waits for circumstances to improve, but the active, deliberate patience of someone who understands timing. Women can't resist men who refuse to be rushed, who know when to act and when to hold back. Think about the opposite. A man who jumps too quickly into decisions, who shows desperation in relationships, who texts 10 times in an hour when she doesn't reply. That energy communicates scarcity. It says, I have to grab whatever I can now. But the man who is patient, who isn't shaken by silence or delay, radiates confidence. He knows he is worth waiting for. This habit extends beyond romance. In business, patient men negotiate better deals because they're not pressured into accepting the first offer. In life, they build stronger reputations because they let their results speak over time instead of trying to prove themselves immediately. Women notice this. They admire the man who doesn't flinch under pressure, who calmly allows events to unfold while staying prepared. To them, patience feels like power. It creates a sense of security, as though being near him means storms will pass without chaos. Patience also connects to emotional regulation. When you pause before reacting, when you refuse to get dragged into unnecessary drama, you show mastery over yourself. And mastery over the self is magnetic. It makes her think, if he can handle his own storms, he can handle mine too. That reassurance is why patience is not just a personal strength, it's an irresistible force. Closing analysis. Why these habits create irresistibility. When we step back and look at all 7 habits together, a clear picture emerges. These aren't tricks. They're not cheap tactics to temporarily win someone's attention. They are structural qualities that shape how a man is perceived in every area of life. Mystery makes her curious. Presence makes her feel seen. Self-discipline makes her respect him. Playfulness makes her feel alive. Emotional intelligence that makes her trust him. Purpose makes her admire him. Patience makes her feel secure. Each habit taps into a fundamental desire women carry, not for perfection, but for stability, excitement, and strength woven together in one man. When combined, they create a magnetic aura that doesn't fade with time. Unlike superficial looks or temporary wealth, these habits deepen as life progresses. A man who develops them becomes more attractive with age, not less. And here's the critical point. Women can feel the difference between a man pretending to have these habits and one who truly lives them. Authenticity cannot be faked long-term. That's why this isn't about memorizing lines or imitating someone else's lifestyle. It's about building yourself into the kind of man who naturally commands respect, admiration, and desire. The truth is, men who master these 7 habits don't chase women. Women chase them. Not out of blind infatuation, but because being near such a man feels like stepping into a stronger, more expansive world. So, if you're serious about transforming not only your dating life, but also your entire future, the path is clear. Pick one habit, start today, and strengthen it daily. Layer them over time, and you'll notice a shift not only in how women respond to you, but in how you see yourself. Because the most irresistible quality a man can ever possess is not charm, wealth, or even power, it's self-mastery. So the question is, will you keep hoping for external tricks, or will you commit to building yourself into the man who doesn't need tricks at all? Start small. Pick one habit today and make it your focus. Maybe it's practicing presence by putting your phone down when someone speaks to you. Maybe it's discipline, committing to a routine you've been avoiding. Maybe it's patience, resisting the urge to react when silence feels uncomfortable. Every habit you strengthen adds another layer of magnetic energy. Over weeks, months, and years, these layers build into something unstoppable. A man women don't just want to meet, but to stay close to. A man who doesn't have to chase because his presence naturally pulls. A personal word to you. If you've made it this far, it tells me something. You're serious about growth. You don't want surface level dating advice, you want transformation. That's exactly why this channel exists. To give you the tools to become the kind of man who not only attracts women, but commands respect in every area of life. So if this message resonates with you, here's my request. Subscribe to the channel right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next new video. Each week, we're diving deeper into the psychology, habits, and strategies that separate ordinary men from extraordinary ones. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the strongest, most magnetic version of yourself. And if you commit to walking this path, step by step, you'll notice a shift, not just in how women look at you, but in how you look at yourself. So hit subscribe, join this journey, and let's build the life and the relationships you know you're capable of. Because the truth is simple, women can't stop desiring men who master these 7 habits. The only question left is, are you ready to master them?